Hello, everyone. It's Alex York. I am here with Dominik Kovacs, the founder of Colossyan. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for hosting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, I'm really excited to talk about your startup journey, your experience as a young founder. You are building an AI video company today. You made the under 30 list in 2024 for your work in this industry. Can you tell me a little bit about your interest in AI in the first place? How did you stumble upon this?
So I always thought that AI would have a significant impact on our society. And as an engineer, I have a technical background. I wanted to work with a field that would have a huge impact. Now AI has quite a bad reputation most of the time when it comes to certain disciplines, but working with areas and having impact in specifically education, learning and development for us is something I'm deeply passionate about. Education changed my life, honestly, and I always was quite motivated to do something innovative in such a field, such an area.
So much has changed in the AI industry, in the technology industry, in the past couple of months, let alone couple of years. Like I said, you made the under 30 list in 2024. What has changed in the year since being named?
I would say that our company is focused on basically partnering with large enterprise companies. We work with the likes of Novartis, Johnson and Johnson, or Ericsson, and we basically want to partner with them to cover sort of more use cases, help them in different areas to make their lives easier and save them time. And what's truly changing is how our technology and product can be applied to various use cases, multiple teams and departments, and that's an area of focus we are taking from a product development perspective.
As I mentioned too, you guys are an AI video company, but I want to know from your words, what exactly does the startup offer today?
So basically we offer a product that's available as a software as a service category. So you can upload your script, your text, or your documents, and you can transform them into a studio quality video that's being presented by a person which is an avatar, but is fully photorealistic. So this way they can basically even recreate a video like this we are in, and only from text in any language. We support more than 120 languages, and localization is a huge thing. There are several surveys showcasing that employee retention increases with localization. So companies and organizations understand its benefits, so we are trying to cater for such needs and also challenges related to it.
And your customers today are employers, correct, that are creating training videos with this avatar technology?
That's kind of the ideal persona indeed,
Okay.
but we also work with nonprofits, universities, colleges, and also prosumers who are kind of one-man businesses.
Yeah. What has the process been like to ensure that this technology works? As you and I were saying before we started filming, you're in sets like this a lot, but really it's to get the information to your models as opposed to film the video that will end up online. Can you walk me through what the process looks like from someone coming to you saying, I need this sort of video, to then the final product that they can share?
Absolutely. So normally it depends on the exact needs. So we do offer avatars that you can choose from all range of diversities. But some companies choose to basically make their own manager or sort of communication specialist into an avatar, into a person who can speak multiple languages using AI. And it totally depends on the use case. If you want to choose one of our stock avatars that's available, we do record those. We basically record real people. Now what's really exciting is that using AI we can also fine-tune and create personas who did not exist before. So one of our customers is a large retail company, and they wanted a specific person representing their brand, and now using AI we were also able to create such an individual that is fully photorealistic. So 1 year ago, for example, that was not possible. But in the past year, we basically advanced the field quite a lot.
What has been the difference to allow you guys to advance in that way?
I would say technology is being developed rapidly.
And is that internally or industry-wide that you're able to tap into?
Both, I would say. We are really cutting edge, so we are pushing the boundaries of the industry. We are an AI-first company, having machine learning engineers and mathematicians, but at the same time, what we must do is understand the pain of our customer, the challenges of our customers, and find technologies that can unlock really the fastest path for them to overcome them. And we are doing kind of the creative parts internally to create these technologies.
What does that creative part and the internal process look like? You kind of walked me through what it looks like from a consumer perspective, but from your guys' end, what are the steps you're having to take, whether that's being in a studio like this, filming, to train your models to be able to kind of, act like a human?
That's a great question. So let me take you back to the original time. Like the company was founded in 2020. In 2021, when we had the first version of our technology, we needed to kind of record someone in the studio for 2 hours continuously, like reading English tongue twisters. So basically to record all their facial expressions. But as time advances, like the models that we are using and that we are building require less data, are more sophisticated. So in comparison to the past, what's needed now eventually is like speaking in front of the camera for 20 seconds, and basically the AI kind of captures your facial expressions, understands the way you speak, and can recreate it in a high definition. So it's quite a standard process of today. We had to make it as user-friendly as possible as well. So basically our customers and audience can also just grab their iPhone and record a video that they need to recreate their own avatar.
And when the customers come into you and they're pulling out their phone, are they doing like a text to video model, or how do they share what they want? And then how does that, what is the kind of the supply chain or chain of commands that has to happen after that?
So it's quite standard. We have a set of instructions. It just depends on some specific camera settings, because the data these models are trained on need like specific settings related to the camera, but it's nothing crazy, honestly. And all you need to do is just record yourself for 20 seconds, upload your footage into our software, and we take care of everything in the back end of our system. Specifically, what we do is we have a foundational model that kind of works based on the training data that we had and we gathered internally over the past years. And based on the way you speak, based on the way you act, we basically recreate your style using the model that we have. So high level, it's quite an easy concept, but as we go deeper and deeper, creating such a I would say foundational model is a huge challenge.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say are some things that you've learned about how people interact or present themselves as you guys have been testing different people in these different situations? Has there been anything that has, been particularly interesting to you?
So what struck me in the earlier days, and I knew about this because I read a lot of reports, is how a human person in a video captures more attention, commands more engagement, and ensures that the video is just more pleasant to watch. And that's what we wanted to recreate using AI, allowing individuals to add a person in the video. And as we kind of are moving through the chasm and reaching beyond early adopters to more traditional users and customers, what we see is they also acknowledge it and they also are experiencing it. So teams who have not used humans, like people in their videos, started to do so and see better results through engagement and attention span, etc. So that's quite an interesting learning, I must say. So yeah.
Are there any characteristics about a human that the AI has a particularly hard time replicating, like an emotion or a facial expression or anything along those lines that's been hard to translate?
So that's an interesting one, because what I recognized is sort of the development of these models are somewhat similar to how humans are kind of growing up. And babies first, they're not making any really sophisticated expressions, and it's similar to the development of these AI models. The models that really are supporting really superior expressions are being built as we speak. So our company is just launching a new generation of model called like a Neo technology, and that will support facial expressions and emotions. This was a huge technical challenge to build because not only you need data for this, like very sophisticated data, but also like adjustments to the whole architecture technically. But one area of improvement and further challenge is how do we also provide gestures. So basically all the body movements and hand movements, and quite interestingly is the same with children. Like as they grow up, they also start learning that. But first comes the way they speak and the expressions, and then the hand gestures, which are more complicated, and interestingly is the same with these AI models.
That is super interesting. You think about a little kid with its hands like by its side, you know, grabbing its shirt or something, and then like you said, as you grow up, you start using your hands to talk, to emote a little bit more.
Yes, exactly.
That is super cool. You guys have raised $22 million in funding, correct?
Yes.
What has that process been like? What is your pitch when you're coming to investors? How are you, suggesting to them that you are a great investment to make?
So we want Colossyan to become the go-to solution for enterprise companies who want to leverage interactive experiences. One thing I didn't talk about is the fact that not only we create videos using AI, but also we allow our customers to make them interactive. What I mean by that is you have a video, and the avatar is able to ask you a question. Think of a choose your own adventure story, and you can click on a button and different part of the video plays. Now I spent so much time talking with several of our customers, and creating such videos took them a month because it's so complex exponentially. And we basically allow this feasibility to happen. We have all the supporting functionalities, and this makes us a really unique value proposition in the market. Investors and also customers understand this and value it and see the way we are different and basically are providing more value to these audiences. And one other area is basically our focus on specific industries. So we work with the largest pharma companies in the world, manufacturing, also professional services, and we have such avatars and also some functionalities in the product and service that we have, which makes it more interesting for them. So I would say when you have such areas of differentiation and unique value proposition, that makes it an easier case for such an investment. So that's definitely one of my learnings. And definitely also building a better company. And what I mean by building a better company is paying attention to your metrics, understanding that you really have to build a long-term business, like a success story. And for that, you need to pay attention to how you're acquiring customers, what methods are you using, how scalable it is. And I would say that's where our strength is and will be in the future. And that's a really strong investment value proposition by the fact that you're obsessed about your metrics and building a great business.
What are some of the metrics that you bring to investors to prove that you guys are growing, scaling, sustainable in all these ways?
I would say it's definitely around net revenue retention, so ensuring that your customers keep coming back and are possibly up for paying more for additional services. It's also feedback scores coming from customers, but also the way you acquire them and the scalability of the acquisition, so related to customer acquisition costs.
Have there been any points of customer feedback that have caused you as a team internally to either pivot or make a change or iterate on what you're building?
So I read each of our customer feedback surveys. Sometimes even they get surprised, but I think as a really product and focused CEO and as a customer-obsessed organization, that's really important. So I'm not saying we are pivoting continuously, but during our sort of management meetings, we keep discussing what we hear from our customers and what we can do better as an organization. So it's absolutely important, and without that, we couldn't be where we are today.
Are there any sectors of AI that most customers have either thoughts about or things that they want to change? Because I feel like a lot of people in this industry right now, like people want to use this for very different things. Has there been anything that has repeatedly come up in those customer interactions?
I would say one area where we are experimenting with is scalability of the production. So there are a few use cases that we see, and this surprised me, where our technology is being utilized for mass personalization of videos. So think of like a campaign where you need to address someone by their first name and talk about their preferences and create 1 million videos sent out to a million different members of a given audience. So I would say that was always surprising to me and something that I found quite cool. The metrics and the success the success, the leading indicators of of its success are still being, debated. But we see more and more of those use cases popping up and AI being used for such purposes.
Right. This is also not your first time being a founder. You had another startup prior to launching this where you were kind of on the other side of AI, tracking deepfakes and trying to suss out non-real, information or things that were being shared online. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Absolutely. So, as an engineer, I always wanted to create value for society, not just change the way we operate and create impact, but add value. And that's what kind of my upbringing was about. And I thought that sort of continuously verifying visual fake news and creating a cybersecurity story around it could be quite impactful. In 2018, I was working with algorithms already that we call generative AI. I remember when we saw one of these first Barack Obama deepfake videos, and it was so crazy, and we felt like we should create a company focused on detecting such manipulated footages. And unfortunately, similar to the story of most, I would say, tech companies, we couldn't monetize it. We didn't find any ways to kind of sell that solution in the market. We have not found any sort of non-profit ways of operating, so we had to like pivot and shut down that path. It was a very, very interesting journey.
I think that issue still is so prevalent, though. What would you say are the solutions today, whether that's from a tech startup perspective or as a consumer seeing information online on social media and trying to decide, is what I'm seeing legitimate?
So I would say there are several avenues, or my learnings there. One is it should be more about passive detection, and what I mean by that is we are partnering with Adobe's content authenticity initiative. So all content creation platforms should have watermarks included, and it would be important to continuously introduce that standard across the industry. In addition to that, education is key. I cannot stress it enough, several times where we are invited to speak at events, universities, etc., that people, the society must be educated around what's possible now with technology, like what to look for. Despite the fact that AI is so advanced, you can still notice various differences, and challenge the type of footage or content you are consuming. So I think I always believe that ever since that education is key and must be done primarily by other companies who are either working on the detection side or not, or have any kind of experience. So that's incredibly important. Other than that, it's also regulation that needs to be more advanced. I remember that we were trying this in Europe, and it was so far behind. So it's also that must get more advanced, I would say.
Yeah. You split time between Europe and the US. What would you say are the biggest differences in how consumers and the startup ecosystem is treating a platform like yours?
I would say the US is definitely more innovative. Working with companies has faster decision-making cycles, which helps companies like ours to test, to iterate, and to become better. At the same time, Europe is definitely catching up, and from our perspective, the value proposition that we see is, of course, a lot more interesting when it comes to localization. So sometimes European companies find and can retrieve even more value from the fact that they can localize the videos they are creating. So I would say there are definitely pros and cons. From a talent perspective, it's also not like the way it was even 5 years ago. Europe is, I would say, catching up, but still there are specific types of disciplines that you can find much better and easily in the States versus in certain European countries. I would say there's still like it's a two-sided thing.
Yeah. What does the team look like today? How many of you guys are there? Where are you guys divided amongst, between these different departments and things like that?
Sure. We have 80 people located here in the US and also in between London and Budapest, Hungary, where I'm originally from. It's primarily like go-to-market, I would say, in the US, while it's more focused towards R&D as in Europe. So,
what are you guys focused on next? What's the next either task that you guys are working on or hurdle that you're overcoming, as so many startups have to all the time?
We want to basically innovate by focusing on introducing new paths towards the ease of use for our platform. What I mean by that is already Colossyan is used by individuals who are not creative at all, who have not created a single video in their entire life, yet they are already successful in creating high quality content. What we are striving for is as more and more second generation AI products arise these days, we want to basically lead on that front from a video standpoint. So we want to rethink some certain assumptions that a video interface must have timelines, or the way the canvas or the entire interface should look like. So we want to enable our users and customers to create higher quality videos even more easily. And what I'm seeing is still that in certain cases, of course unwillingly, but the output is still not great, because the creative elements and the possibilities a given user can do on the video creation is just so vast. So we want to provide smart guidance using AI, or further smart defaults for the system. And what I believe it will have as an impact is more people will get access to video, and the output quality will be even greater, and the time spent on creation will be shorter. So that is the focus area. I'm calling it like sort of a second generation AI product, and we want to lead the way there from a video creation perspective.
Yep, totally. When do you think AI has gone too far, especially coming from a side of the industry that was focused a lot on deepfakes and kind of, like you said, manipulative footage? Where do you think is the line for when tech companies should stop? Or, do you think that line exists? How are you thinking about the ethics behind generative AI right now?
I think it's definitely important to, keep talking about that aspect. As I mentioned, companies, primarily in the content creation space, should definitely join such initiatives and also keep talking about this and educating the space. I believe one area that some of our customers are trying, which is like signaling in the beginning that an AI content, that they are going to watch an AI content, then trust is being built much better with their audience, because if sort of my company is saying that this content was generated with AI that I'm going to watch now, at least I will appreciate that they tried their, of course, best, and also are being transparent with me. So transparency definitely helps. I'm seeing that across our many cases, and also doing like the right content moderations and safety protocols. So the same thing exists on our end. So we do detect various kind of misuse and are making actions against it in our system.
What do you think is next for the AI industry? What are you getting ready for? Are there any companies that you're looking at that are doing a great job, or trends in the industry that you guys are tapping into right now?
I would say the trend is that after the pandemic, so much of, at least in the workplace, like so much of the workload got concentrated in a very few hands, like in the hands of content creators. And our job, or our task, I believe, is how can we distribute that load? How can we distribute that pressure of having to create content into the hands of the subject matter experts, into the ones who are requesting the content, so we can kind of disperse that across the organization. And I believe for that what needs to be done is higher levels of realism, ease of use to increase, and what's no one really talking about most of the time is quality. And even our customers sometimes forget to mention that. Everyone is talking about speed of creation, while what we must also focus on is, does AI help us to create quality content? I deeply care about quality. I think quality is the name of the game. At the same time, we must not forget that, in the enterprise context and mostly in our world, like, speed matters. But how can we nail both? How can we not just help individuals and teams to create content faster, but also higher quality using AI? So that's the question that we keep asking internally, and how we can sort of launch innovations around that. So that's how we are kind of observing the industry trends and how we can leverage, everything in the name of quality as well.
Yep. Well, hopefully you can answer that question within your own internal team to keep putting out this quality content. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to see all that you guys continue to build. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. It's been a pleasure.